All right, you guys know how we do things around here? Someone sends in a fascinating little number pattern, and we got to dive in. And this one's a doozy. We're talking prime numbers, those building blocks of the number
Oh,
world.
yeah. Prime numbers. Always a good time.
And we found a sequence tucked away in the online encyclopedia of integer sequences, or OEIS for those in the know. It takes those primes and finds a hidden pattern within them.
Okay, color me intrigued. What kind of pattern are we talking
All
about?
right, picture this. You take a prime number, any prime number, you find its square root.
Okay, square roots. Got it.
But then, here's the kicker, you just keep the whole number part, ditch the decimals. Sounds simple, right?
Yeah, deceptively simple. I like it.
So you end up with a sequence that goes a little something like this. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5. A pattern is emerging. See it.
I'm seeing some repetition, some grouping.
Hmm.
But what's the meaning behind it?
Well, that's where a resident number whiz comes in. What's going on with these primes and their whole number square roots?
What's really cool here is that we're not just dealing with square roots in isolation. This sequence actually reveals a hidden relationship between those prime numbers and the perfect squares.
Perfect squares, now we're talking 1, 4, 9, 16, all those favorites.
Exactly. You see, each number in this sequence tells us something crucial. It tells us exactly how many of those perfect squares are smaller than that corresponding prime number.
Okay, hold on. I think I need a visual here.
Let's break it down. Take the fifth prime number, which is 11. How many perfect squares can fit below it?
Okay, let's see. We've got 1, 4, 9, that's it, 3.
And what's the fifth term in our sequence? It's a 3. It's like a countdown of how many squares are hiding beneath each prime.
Wow, okay, now it's clicking. But it sounds like this pattern, this counting the squares thing, it goes even dumber than that.
It does. You see, this pattern where the sequence never increases by more than one from one term to the next, it hints at something much bigger. We're talking about Legendre's conjecture.
Legendre's conjecture.
Mm.
Now there's a name that screams serious math. What's the deal with this conjecture?
Well, Legendre, he was a clever guy, and he proposed this idea that there's always at least one prime number tucked between any two consecutive squares.
So like between 4 and 9, there has to be at least one prime, and between 25 and 36, same deal.
Precisely. Think of it like those mile markers along a highway. Legendre's conjecture says there's always at least one prime number signpost between them.
Okay, so we've got prime numbers acting like signposts between square-numbered mile markers. I'm with you so far, but how does our little sequence fit into all of this? How does it help us prove something as big and complex as Legendre's conjecture?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If we could somehow prove that this sequence, this quirky little thing with the rounded down square roots, if we could prove that it always increases by just 0 or 1, well, that would be a huge step toward proving Legendre's conjecture.
Wait, hold up. So this seemingly simple pattern, this never increase by more than one thing, that could be the key to cracking a centuries-old math problem.
That's kind of amazing. But let's be real for a second. Why should any of this matter to, people like us out here in the real world?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. You see, prime numbers, they're not just some abstract mathematical concept. They're the backbone of modern cryptography.
Cryptography. Okay, you're going to have to explain that one to me.
Think about it, finding really large prime numbers, that's relatively easy for computers to do. But if you take a really big number and you want to break it down, factor it out into its prime components, well,
That sounds a lot harder.
it is. It's incredibly difficult and incredibly time-consuming, especially for really large numbers. And it's that difficulty that makes prime numbers so important for security.
Security. How so?
They're the key to protecting online transactions, securing sensitive data, all sorts of things. Your online security, that's prime numbers working hard behind the scenes. So every time I'm, checking my bank account online, it's prime numbers keeping things safe.
You got it. And that's just one example. They pop up in computer algorithms and concert hall acoustics. It's like they're these fundamental notes in the symphony of the universe.
All right, so prime numbers, they're like the secret agents of the math world, quietly running things behind the scenes. Way cooler than I ever gave them credit for in high school math, that's for sure. But back to the sequence. We've got this prime number sequence, this potential link to Legendre's conjecture. What's next?
Well, there was that part in the OEIS entry, remember? It talked about how often each number shows up in the sequence, like how many times you see a 3. That's our next lead.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They had a whole section on that, and I have to admit that one went a bit over my head. Like, why does it even matter how many times we see, say, the number 3?
Think of it like this. The reason we see a 3 multiple times is because There are multiple prime numbers that have exactly 3 perfect squares smaller than them.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's not about the 3 itself, but what it represents.
Exactly. It's like each 3 is a little flag marking a prime number with 3 perfect squares below it.
So let me see if I've got if a number, let's say 3, appears 4 times in our sequence, that means there are 4 different prime numbers.
That have exactly 3 perfect squares smaller than them. You got it.
Okay, my brain is working overtime here, but I think it's making connections. So we're not just looking at a sequence of numbers, but a map, kind of. A map where each 3 or 4 is an X marking a spot where prime numbers and perfect squares have this little interaction.
That's a great way to visualize it. And by looking at how often certain numbers pop up, we start to see the bigger picture of how those prime numbers are distributed. Almost like those forensic science shows where the pattern of, I don't know, footprints or something can tell you how many people were at a crime scene.
Okay, this is starting to make sense. We're uncovering the prime number crime scene. But does this frequency analysis, this looking at the 3s and 4s, does that get us any closer to actually figuring out Legendre's conjecture, or is it just a neat pattern?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? The million-dollar question. We can't say for sure, but understanding how often certain numbers appear in the sequence that could reveal some hidden structure within the primes, how they're spread out.
So it's like we're looking for patterns within the pattern.
Exactly. The more we understand this sequence and how those numbers are distributed, the better our chances of understanding those prime numbers, and maybe even cracking Legendre's conjecture wide open.
It's like we're on the case, hot on the trail of those elusive prime numbers. I gotta say, this is way more intense than I thought it'd be when we started.
Right. Who knew those little prime numbers could pack such a punch?
Seriously. We're talking secret codes, crime scene investigations, and now we're like detectives trying to crack the case of a lifetime.
We've got our prime number lineup, a possible connection to Legendre's conjecture, and this whole frequency pattern thing.
It's like all the pieces of the puzzle are there on the table, but we just, I don't know, we can't quite put them together yet. Maybe some pieces don't even belong.
That's the thing about number theory. It's a puzzle where you're not even sure all the pieces belong, or if there's some completely different picture you're supposed to be making.
You're telling me. So just to be clear, you're saying that by figuring out how often each number pops up in our little sequence, that could actually unlock a fundamental truth about how prime numbers work.
Absolutely. I think about it. Prime numbers, they're like those stars scattered across the night sky. Mathematicians, they've been trying for ages to chart those stars, to find the pattern that explains it all.
Like a mathematical map of the stars.
Exactly. And we haven't quite found that perfect map yet, but every time we find something new, like this sequence and its patterns, well, we're getting closer to understanding how it all fits together.
Man, we started with a simple sequence of, what was it, rounded down square roots. And now we're talking about unlocking the mysteries of the universe. Prime numbers, who knew they were so deep?
And the best part, this is just the beginning. There's still so much we don't know about prime numbers, about Legendre's conjecture, about everything. That's the beauty of math. There's always something new to discover.
It's like this deep dive has opened up a whole new rabbit hole of mathematical mysteries. And who knows, maybe one of you listening out there will be the one to finally crack the code.
Now, wouldn't that be something?
That's all the time we have for today, but I have a feeling this isn't the last we'll hear about prime numbers and their hidden patterns. Until next time, keep those brains buzzing.